Our next presentation is by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar. I would like to call him upon the stage now. Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar is an acknowledged trainer, academician, he's a scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He is a qualified trainee member and a National Merit Award holder in electronic enabled training of the prestigious Indian Society of Training and Development and associate trainer of CRISP India. He addressed international conference in 2008 organized by Global Digital Business Society USA. With more than 3,000 hours in institutional, industrial, defense and civil services training, he has covered more than 70 organizations across the country. His topic is Yogic Leadership for 21st Century Managers.
Thank you, ma'am. Om Sahnanavatu Saha Nabunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvino Adhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahe. May God protect us both, speaker and the listener. May He be pleased with us, both speaker and the listener. May we work together for our objectives. May our learning make us illuminated, and may there be no dislike or egoism between us. With that note, the note with which all Upanishads of the world starts with, such a beautiful feeling that, oh my Lord, first protect me, and then kindly be pleased with me so that I can work. Like Gita, Krishna says, when Arjuna asks that I don't want to kill my dear ones, Krishna politely says, oh Arjuna, you cannot even move your thumb without my permission, leave alone killing anybody. So let's surrender. Similarly in India, every child has to leave his hairs unto the God as a symbol of surrender. And even all religion in the world talks and their journey begins with surrender. So with that feeling of surrender, let's begin into our talk today. Yogic leadership for 21st century managers. The topic sounds a bit strange also. At times even I feel, many of the stages were asked, that why a 21st century BC solution should be brought to the 21st century AD problems. Bertrand Russell, a great philosopher, when was asked the same, he replied, there has been 3 battles since the inception of the world. First battle is man versus man. Second battle is man versus within. And the third battle is man versus nature. Then he further asked, look at these 3 battles and think in your heart of the heart, have we really improved in these 3 battles? Has the battle between man versus man has reduced or it has increased? Has the battle of man versus within, from Shakespearean Hamlet to Arjuna, everybody is fighting with a battle of man versus within. And the third battle is man versus nature. We have still so far, out of all scientific developments, learned how to be pre-armed, pre-warmed with nature, but we cannot stop or fight against it. So when the problems are still the same, which we used to face in 21st century BC, then why can't the solution remain the same? And that's why leadership, if is something that is required today, it has to be yogic leadership. Then one important thing that comes, you all know that yoga is unification of my will with divine will, my consciousness with divine consciousness. A feeling that thy will, not my will. Whatever he will decide, whatever he will desire will happen. Thy will, not my will. So yoga is surrender. And what is leadership? Leadership is the ability to influence others' behavior. So when we talk about leadership, it is just an ability that you can influence others' behavior to achieve your objectives. But what is the thing that will make that leadership lasting? What is the thing that creates leaders, great leaders? May it be Mahatma Gandhi or may it be anybody, Martin Luther King. The very feeling of yoga that I am not working for my own objectives, I have incorporated my objectives with divine will, is something that I call yogic leadership. I'm not doing things. I'm not trying to achieve my objectives for my sake. It is for his sake I am doing. And because for his sake I am doing, even if I fail, he wanted me to fail. And if I succeed, it is by his bliss I got succeeded. So that is what we call yogic leadership. That feeling, that unification of my will with thy will is that leadership. When such leadership emerges somebody, then that person becomes a supreme person, like Gita says. If 1,000 of thousands of the sun rose up at once into the sky, they might resemble the effluence of the supreme person in that universal form. In words of Shakespeare, even the nature might stand up and say, this is the man. From where that leadership comes, let's try to be more into it. When we talk about leadership, general conception is ability to control, as I told you, ability to influence others. Improvement as others has always been the essence of leadership. One who can change the world. But yogic leadership goes a bit into it. It says it is not changing the world, it is changing the inner world. So that it is said that Jaisi drashti vaisi srashti. The moment your drashti will change, your srashti will change. In Upanishads and Indian ancient literature, there is a famous small anecdote it is given. 10 merchants went outside of their village for business. There came a river in between, they crossed the river and they went on another bank. But as soon as they reached another bank, one of them doubted. Let's count all of us, because river was very heavy. Somebody might have drowned into it. They counted. One of them started counted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he was confused, look, only 9 are left, we were 10 initially. He was very depressed about it. Another person started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the number was still 9. Everybody was very much threatened. Who is the one we are missing then? One after one everybody counted, and finally they couldn't get who is the 10th one. They started weeping, they started crying. There was a saint going through their place. So when saint saw them, saint asked why you are crying. They said, look, we were 10 and now we are 9 only. Then saint said, foolish, you are 10. So he said, where are we 10? Let me count for you. That person again said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are still 9. Saint shouted, you are the 10th foolish. You are the 10th, and which you are missing yourself. In Sanskrit they say, Dasham Tvam Asi. You are the 10th, which you miss when you talk about leaders. This is the 10th one which a leader misses, and that's why mess happens. When Vivekananda asked, what is your message to the society? What is your message to the edge? He replied, he was giving his message to the edge. He said, keep the mess out of the edge. It is my message to the age. So the point is, keeping that mess out of this mind, leadership begins. So when we talk about leadership, it is within, not without. It is not outside. And because the journey within is a bit difficult, we all know we go for Lord, we go for temples for darshan, we go for our God for darshan to see them, but as soon as we reach in front of God, we close our eyes. We go miles to see them, but we close our eyes as soon as we approach them, because somewhere or other in our learnings it is said that darshan is always done within. Whatever you see outside is just a mirror of your within. So what you see outside is darpan, and what you see within is actually darshan. So when we say leadership, it is an inner journey that goes into you, and it is a bit difficult too, not so common. In Bengali, Rabindranath Tagore has written such beautiful lines. Lord asked from Bhakta, a disciple, Ken tor dui hat pata? Why have you put your hands like this, both of your hands? What do you want? Ken tor dui hat pata? Lord asked from the disciple, why have you kept your hands like this? In a begging position, what do you want actually? Bhakta replies, disciple replies, Dan to chaine, chaije data. I don't need dan, I need data himself. I don't need the gift, I need the giver. I don't need his, I need him. And that is the difference. And that is the difference. A leadership is something deep. It is not asking for his, it is asking for him. It is asking for a greater kingdom rather than the lesser one. So when I say leadership, it is seeking him, not his. So where this leadership basically comes from? Basically two things are there. One is self and second is situation, and whole life is all about it. We focus on situation, they are situational leaders. They want to reform others. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. But another some people, they focus on self and their own self-development. And that are called self-leaders. Leaders who have generated themselves in so much, developed themselves so much, that now situation gets dominated. Some people directly try to dominate situation. We never know them. In India, where is I.K. Gujral? You never know. Where is Devagoda? You never know. They used to be Prime Minister of India once upon a time, most important person in India, but then too, they were situational. They did not have something in them, and that's why the world has forgotten them today. But when you talk about leaders who rise from within, they are called Pashupati leaders, and another are called Prajapati leaders. There is ancient Indian mythology of an endless struggle between Pashupati and Prajapati. What is Prajapati? In Hindi, when you say Pati, Pati means one who commands in spite of the fact. So, Pati is somebody who commands. When you say Prajapati, one who commands the Praja, people. But when you say Pashupati, Pashu means animal, one who commands the animal. And who is that animal then? Everybody of us know that we have an animal inside. And why do we need yoga? Because we are frustrated with that animal inside and unable to tie him up. That's why we need yoga.
Sir, we have a couple of more minutes.
2 minutes? I'll complete it. So, when you say Pashupati, it means controlling the Pashu within, and then you can generate that leadership. We have an ancient mythology where Lord Shiva, there were 3 purs that were developed across the universe. And what were these 3 purs? In mythology it is said these 3 purs means cities. 3 cities, 3 demons has created 3 cities. And those 3 cities were creating a havoc in whole universe. Lord Shiv, through an arrow, destroyed all these 3 cities. They are called Pur, and that's why Shiva is called Purantak, Tripurantak. And when those 3 Purs or cities were mashed into ashes, Lord took those ashes and put it over here. You can see over here on his forehead. Do you know what these 3 cities were? It is a metaphor of 3 problems that we face in our life. Me, mine, not mine. 3 problems of our life. Problem starts when you have something for me. You have something called mine. If there is something mine, there must be something that is not mine. I'll be concerned about mine and I'll forget not mine. And the problem starts, and all our life is a suffering just because of these 3 cities. Me, mine, not mine. Lord Shiva destroyed them into ashes and said, leader is one who is above me, mine and not mine. And that is what he calls as Pashupati leader. And he took those ashes and put it here over his forehead so that everybody worshipping him should always remember that me, mine, not mine is going to burn into ashes one day. Even if you follow it, even if you forsake it, whatever, it is going to be fallen into ashes one day. So do not follow it much, because it is just an endless desire. We call it, I'll take 1 more minute and I'll finish it up. Then we call it Purush and Prakriti. What we call is Sankhya Yoga. It is again the same thing. Person who concentrates on self is called Purusha. And everything around the world other than your own consciousness is called Prakriti, nature. Whatever you can touch, any tangible thing is nature. So what exactly it is? The concept of Pashupati says that increase the Purush to an extent that the Prakriti should involve into it. Prakriti itself should merge into it. All material pleasures are made for us. Why should we chase them? They should chase us. And that is what is concept of Purush and Prakriti. When Purush goes up, Prakriti merges into it, and we call them Ardh Narishwar. Combination of Purush and Prakriti together. Combination of such a great being that a nature might stand up and say, this is the man, Pashupati. And once the main man rises to that level, whole nature merges into it. And still we call 30 years of Indian independence struggle called Gandhi era. And why Gandhi era? Because that time belongs to that person. Had much things to talk, but finally I'll conclude on this slide. So the essence of leadership is that being in between, taking care of your consciousness, do two things if you want to be a great leader. If anybody wants to be a great leader, one focus should be on Parabrahma, inside, development of your own. And second focus should be on Brahmand. Brahmand means what? It is not universe, it is not celestial bodies. What is Brahmand? Brahmand is that area which is important for us. My Brahmand includes my wife, my sister, my mother, and people who matter to me. So Brahmand is not celestial bodies. Brahmand means those things that matter to us. So two things to be done. Focus on your own inner development, and second, focus on the Brahmand of your subordinates, not your own. Like I'll conclude with a saying in Quran. Quran says, in Hindi it is said, तू हमेशा वो करता है जो तू चाहता है, पर होता वो है जो मैं चाहता हूं. तू वो करने लग जो मैं चाहता हूं, तो होगा वो जो तू चाहता है. So it is just the way. So instead of focusing on self, let's focus on others' Brahmand and focus on your own development within. So two focus. We are doing exactly the opposite nowadays. We focus on our Brahmand and their improvement. Do other ways. Focus on your own inner Brahma and improve it, because we are the 10th. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful presentation. Anybody would like to ask a question? Maybe we can have one.
Somebody else. Allow somebody. No, ma'am, please allow somebody. Anyone has question in the audience?
My name is Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar. I am a national trainer with Indian Army and Indian Navy. My mail ID is Vikrant, Vikrant, Singh, Singh, dot MIIT, M for management, IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, at Gmail. I am available on Facebook also with the same name. Vikrant Singh, dot MIIT at Gmail. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am, tell me.
You were talking about Brahman, and you said we should focus on people that matter to us. If we take the aspects of other religions, and I don't want to mention any specific religion, but they also talk about not people only that matter to us, but it's for everybody, like love everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What do they fall under Brahman?
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider that they are also part of Brahman?
When I said Brahmand, I mean things, people, situations, or nations that matter to us is our Brahmand. The concept of religion is expanding your Brahmand to this universe. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. If we can expand our Brahmand, that everything matters to us, if anybody feels pain, if anything matters to us, and then we become a better human being also, rather than only being a good leader. So the concept of what I am trying to say, Brahmand, is if you really want to be a good leader, focus on the Brahmand of your subordinates, so that their worries can be taken up by yourself, and your worries Lord will look after. So that is what I am trying to say. And last point is religion. If you say, look, religion are just the stairs to reach a destination. If you can already reach that destination, no stair is needed. बहुत अच्छी बात है, प्लीज बैठिए. सर ने पूछा what is aham brahmasmi, and try to see how it can be related with the topic today. When you say Brahma is a shabd that means for thinking, thoughts, something that can expand. So Brahma is a thought. Fine. And what do you mean by that? If I say I love you, what do I love actually? Person is a bundle of thoughts only. We all are vibrations, and we are all thoughts only. So when you expand your thoughts to a mighty level, we call it the Brahmand is expanding. And second thing about the technicalities, I am very less learned in the technical terms, but I know only one thing. What Kabir said, and I love it from the bottom of my heart. Kabir once said, "Likha likhi ki nahi hai, dekha dekhi baat." लिखा लिखी की नहीं है, देखा देखी बात. दुल्हा दुल्हन मिल गए, फीकी पड़ी बारात. दुल्हा कौन? गॉड. दुल्हन अपन. अगर आप ऐसे ही यू कैन हैव वन, यू डोंट नीड लिटरेचर, यू डोंट नीड एनीथिंग इन दिस वर्ल्ड. लिखा लिखी की नहीं है, देखा देखी बात. Dulha dulhan mil gaye, feeki padi barat. All concepts are useless if you can directly approach. That is what you call bhakti yoga. If you can directly approach the simplest, the thing that Krishna said, bhakti yoga. Do nothing and you have everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vikrantji.